Hey, it looks like we are alive. We made it to another week. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone is doing well, feeling good, doing lots of great artwork. And we are getting into, I would say, the semi home stretch. We probably have this week and next week, and then we'll go on to our next piece. So I'm excited about it. We are celebrating the 500 episode of this channel. Yes, 500 episodes. Not of just a live stream, but of all videos from when I started. 500. So that is so cool. So let's see. Oh, Oz, how are you feeling? So Oz, all the way from Atlanta, you had a procedure. How did that go, sir? Let me know. I've been praying for you. And so I'm glad to see you. I just want to know how you're feeling. And so, oh, Patty says congratulations on what did I do? Oh, 500. Yes, thank you, Patty. And thank you, JC, all the way from the Atlanta area. That is so great. And thank you, Air Todd from San Diego. Thank you, Patty from Illinois, for the happy 500 episode. Mr. Roy, all the way from New Jersey, how are you? Great to see you. Color Graphics. And who else do we have? Oh, JC says hello to Air Todd. Everyone saying hello to Oz. And I just hope you're feeling very well, sir. And so that is so great. So, do you guys and girls believe it? 500 episodes? I remember the first episode was back in 2008. We got an old, not an old, but a camcorder that was very simple. And we just set it up, and I did a pastel painting. And it was just a lot of fun. But who would know that I would end up with 500 of these on the channel? Mr. Michael McClung, how are you? Great to see you. How is everything? So glad you're here. And he's all the way from the Maryland area. And Oz says that it went well, long recovery, a lot of pain, and he's hoping to be walking soon. Oh man, I'm glad everything went well. Praying for a speedy recovery, my friend. You're a tough guy. So, great job coming through that in flying colors. And we have Colette all the way from Wisconsin. How are you, Colette? It is amazing to see you. So we have such a nice group here. So as you can see, she's evolving, right? Slowly but surely, she is evolving. And that's exactly what we're going to be working on. So this is part 5. And I think we're going to work a lot more on the background probably today, and maybe a little bit on this hairline right here. So that's basically what we're going to do. Air Todd says Tim was having a dial-up and frame by animation back then. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It was all like shadow puppets and stuff, definitely. So that is so cool. So today we are going to, of course, be using Wicked Paint, and I think we're going to be using, for some detail, this Red Grass wet palette. And this is the small one because I have a small studio, so I need the small version. So that's going to be great. And so we'll do some of that. So last episode I was working with golden paints, but I learned that if you're going to be painting with Wicked, you're going to do the brush techniques with Wicked paint. That you can go ahead and even do brush techniques with the Createx illustration, but not a different brand. So that's what I learned. I'm passing it on over to you guys and girls. So let's see how this looks. And you can see the paint is still wet from when I had it over the weekend. So that is great. And you see, there it is. So I can still use these colors, which is quite amazing. And they're ready to go. And let's see. Mr. Mike says she's looking awesome, Tim, and that bomber jacket he's in love with. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We're pushing along through this, and you know we're going to be working on this the fur a little bit, but right now I think we're going to kind of play around with the background. Maybe just kind of bringing that more to fruition, right? So let's see what we have here. Let me get my reference from PureRef. We'll bring that up. And so with my students' personal work and everything, I always have several projects going in different mediums, and that always helps a lot. It really does. So I highly recommend having paintings at different stages of the game would probably be the best thing for you, because you're always practicing at all the different stages, which is fantastic. So highly recommend having 2 or 3 paintings going at one time, maybe even different mediums, so you can get the most out of it. So that's what I'm finding is really great, you know. So let me go to my reference here. You guys got to see the next painting that's coming up down the pike. It's going to be really cool, really different, and I'm excited about it. And Oz says, thanks everyone. He really means a lot to him, of our well wishes and prayers. Definitely, definitely, my friend. So glad you're here and doing well. That is I'm very thankful for that. Okay, so this is glasses territory. And let's see. So we're going to be working on the background. So what's a really nice color would probably be sepia. So let's move this aside. We're going to take our airbrush and we're going to use some detail. Michael McGlung, thank you so much for the amazing super chat. That is so incredibly generous, and I appreciate you, Mike. I appreciate all your wonderful comments and support. It is just so great that you're a part of this community. It is such a shot in the arm. And I just want to say thank you for being here, being you. It is just incredible. So thank you so much for that, Mr. Michael McGlung, all the way from Maryland, which is not too far from Jersey, by the way. One of these days we got to get together. I would love that. It's not too far of a drive from Jersey. So I am going to look for, I have this amazing new organizer that I can just pretty much have all these different drawers, and I can find my, remember how I was going crazy trying to find detail sepia? That is a thing of the past. Now I can just come right over here, detail sepia, bam, look how fast that was. That's incredible. So I love sepia. It kind of darkens things, but it's not gray. So get yourself some of this. The Detail Sepia by Wicked 0070. Highly recommend. And once again, Michael, thank you so much for your support. It really helps so very much. More than I could say. It just really keeps this going. It's been a rough couple of months, but you guys have made it so much easier, so much less stressful. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And so I'm gonna do 3:1 because it's sepia. It's kind of thin anyway. So if it was more of something with white, maybe I'll do 4:1. But 3:1 is really nice. And let's go ahead and mix this up, because I want to use this as a slight shading color for the background. And then we'll infuse it with some color, right? So definitely we want to take this background up a notch, as Emerald would say. Hey, who out there is a fan of hot sauce? I found a really good hot sauce website. So how many hot sauce fans are out there? I love hot sauce. Doesn't necessarily love me, but isn't that the thrill of it, right? So I'm using Viva paper towels. A lot of people don't like them. They say they has a lot of lint or with fibers, but I think it's the best. So that's what I use. Oh, Michael says it would be an honor to meet you in person to share the side of the dirt with. Definitely, my friend. I definitely look forward to that. We're going to make it happen. That would be amazing. And so I'm going to put a little bit of 40/50 right here. Now this is great. So, you know, detail sepia goes right back in the drawer. Oh my God, I'll be able to find it. That's simple. Isn't that incredible? So it's like progress is going on here in New Jersey a little bit. I'm trying to get organized with a little help. I am doing very well with it. We're gonna, it's interesting that the 40/50 kind of changes the color slightly, but I'm sure that's going to it doesn't change the color when you spray it, but in the cup it does slightly at first. It's interesting. Kind of makes it a little cloudy. Mr. Brad Mummery, how's it going? All the way from Manitoba, Canada. Mr. Mummery is doing some amazing stuff with color theory. Just want to say he has turned a corner with color theory. So way to go there, my friend. Okay, here we go. Here we go into the Extreme Patriot Arrow. Any of you guys see my video, my AI video on the advertisement for the Extreme Patriot Arrow? That was a lot of fun to do, by the way. Put that aside. Now, I always like to have a piece of test paper so I can see what's happening here. So, Brad, did you go ice fishing today? Oh my God, look how beautiful we are spraying here. So let's go ahead and put a couple of magnets so my painting doesn't spray away. Okay, so now we're going to be working on kind of solidifying the background here. And lower that air pressure, right? We're going to lower that air pressure. Because with the, you know, having the shellac on the surface, it is a little slick like Yupo paper. So when you're up close like this, you definitely want to lower that air pressure with the pack valve. And Mr. Dave Gregory, how's it going? Happy 2024, my friend. So good to see you. How's life out there? Oklahoma, did I get that right? I think I did. I hope I did. And so good to see you. How's everything, Mr. Dave? I'm so glad you're here. What a great group we have today. So, always so excited about Wednesdays. The best day of the week. Friday used to be the best day. Now it's definitely Wednesday. So now I'm just going to continue to solidify this background here. There we go. Just kind of get the lights and the darks, and now we are going to then we'll go ahead and infuse some color. And Mr. Brad says yes, and in the middle of a blizzard. Oh, so you went fishing in the middle of a blizzard. Now that is, we haven't had anything like a blizzard since 2015, so that's quite a while ago, isn't it? And Dave says, you did, sir, making it day by day. I hope all is well with it for everyone. So glad I got Oklahoma, so that's cool. Are you in Oklahoma City or in Tulsa? I believe Oklahoma City. And so cool. So JC is talking to Mr. Dave. That is great. Now I have the sepia. I can actually go in and work on some of the hair as well. You know, I like to move around a lot, right? That's what I do. So I can kind of darken. So sepia, this detail sepia is a good all-around just detail airbrush, just kind of working out things together. Do the background there, and then I can even just darken it. So let's say I darken it, it needs to be a little warmer. I can glaze some warmer colors over that, so that's no problem. And we don't have to get too much into detail. It's in the background. Keep it soft, keep it wispy. And so cool. Okay. And so I'm thinking of doing something. What do you guys and girls think of? So in the future, I want to go ahead and show off the work of the members, the community. So maybe one week we'll pick JC, one week we'll pick Brad, one week we'll pick Dave Gregory, whoever wants to, and we'll actually, during the live stream, we'll take a little break and we'll share the incredible work that you all are doing, because the live stream is not just about me, it's about all of us, it's about community. So I think that would be really cool. What do you guys think of that idea? I'm just going to throw it out. Just a little, intermission, and just share the work of some of the great members. Brad said that would be great. That would be amazing, because, and Dave says it would be cool, so that's great. And yeah, I would love to get some exposure for you all. Each week we could have a different person, or maybe we can have a couple. And we'll just go over, or maybe talk about some fun facts of the artwork. JC likes the idea, right? Fun facts of the artist. I think it would be great. Maybe talk about, maybe if you want, hey Raul, how's it going? Great to see you all the way from Jersey. Love the work you're doing. And so Raul thinks it's great, and Michael McClung says he thinks it would be great. Would love to see some of the other people's work. Perfect. And what great exposure. So right now I'm getting over 5,000 views of this channel every month. My goal is 10,000 views of this channel every month. So that's increased exposure for everybody. Like I said, it's not just about me, it's about our community. And I think we have a great community going here. And if you guys shine, I shine. That's how I look at it. And you can see this is a little darker here. There we go. So you see we're bringing her together. Now it's going to be cropped here, of course. You see I left myself a little border. So if you guys were wondering. Just kind of bringing this background, a little more detail. It's still very fuzzy. We're doing that whole kind of bouquet kind of look, or bokeh. And so we want to put detail, but not too much, soft edges. Oh, Patty says that it would be generous. Thank you. And Air Todd says, sounds good. Air Todd needs to start a painting. That's fantastic. So that's going to be great. And I'll do it during the live stream, I'll go ahead, show the work, really cool. Really do a nice profile piece of you guys each week. We'll just, go ahead and, I'll contact you and you say yes and no, send me the pictures. So have everything ready so when the live stream comes, we really get to push your work, and that's fantastic. One thing I learned about social media, yeah, social media does have its problems, but for us artists to get it out there is going to be, things happen when your work's out there, and social media is the best way for us artists. Mr. Patrick, how's it going? Cheese Grits and NyQuil, how are you, my friend? Great to see you all the way from Massachusetts. Are you all dug out from the snow that you guys had? And And JC says, hello to Patrick. Air Todd says, having trouble finding time to finish and watching Tim's class. Well, yes, you take your time, you know. You have to be patient with yourself there, Mr. Todd, right? So cool. So we got Mr. Patrick in the house doing some great artwork over there in Massachusetts, even though it's snowing over his head. They say we're going to have a snowstorm here in the east, northeast next Tuesday, but we'll see, right? We haven't had a snowstorm since 2020. We only got less than a dusting. I think my windshield got covered very lightly. Oh, look at this. Mr. Cheese Grits and NyQuil is actually in the culinary competition in Saratoga Springs. That is wild. I'm wishing you a lot of success. I know you're a great chef, so you don't need luck. That's for sure. So that is great. So I'm just going to, so notice that I'm coming in with this detail sepia and kind of fleshing things out. Then I'm going to come in and glaze some color. So, but first we want to flesh things out a little bit. Oh, so Mr. NyQuil needs a support, definitely. So prayers going out for you to win, man. And so, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised, that's for sure. I talked to Mr. Patrick, and he knows his stuff when it comes, you know, being a chef, you know. Just amazing. I learned so much just talking to him. Mr. Patrick says she's looking great. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I'm just having so much fun painting her. And I'm just going to move around. See, this sepia is like an all-purpose color. That's why you want this detail sepia by Wicked. It's just this all-purpose color. You could kind of just tint everything up and then glaze on top of it, right? And that's what I'm doing. And we're just going to pump that trigger, and we're going to work on her fur here. Not her fur, but the fur on the jacket. Right here. One thing I really love about the detail sepia is that it's so thin and it flows so well. There are some colors that, with the pigments being small, it just flows so amazingly. And Mr. Gregory says, evening cheese grits and Patrick and all. Oh, so cool. So glad that, oh man, whoa, Mr. Mr. Dave, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you so much. You are super generous. Thank you for the amazing super chat of $49.99. I am speechless, and it's rare that I'm speechless. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us on Wednesday. It's such a blessing. And thank you, really thank you for the amazing support and just being part of this community. And I'm just so thankful. And I just want to say, Dave, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is something that, you know, is just so heartwarming. You know, it just makes me really feel great. So thank you so much, Mr. Dave. I appreciate you so very much. And I appreciate Mr. Michael McGlung as well. You guys are just incredible. Dave says, can't figure out how to make it 50. $49.99 is really great. Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate it. You guys, just incredible. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh, I'm really, it's like a shot in the arm. It's like a tonic. I'm so excited. You know, I love doing this. I love sharing technique with everyone. And I just want everyone's artwork to just go through the roof, you know? That's what I want. And that's why I do this. And it's just so cool. And I think about the first episode where my life was and all these different things back then. It's just incredible. It really is. Um, the way life is, and how how the twists and turns bring us here. But I just want to say, like, the Wednesday nights are such a big part of my week and such a big part of my life. Um, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being a part of my Wednesday nights and my YouTube and, you know, being a full time artist kind of thing. It's very scary, but not so scary when I have friends like you guys. And Cheese Grits and NyQuil says, Tim, you have taken my work to places I never figured it would go. That makes me feel great, Patrick. And that's every teacher longs to hear that. So thank you, my friend. And AirTod says, Dave, it depends on the computer or iPad. Interesting how that works. Definitely. So you see I'm moving around with this sepia because I'm not using it as the final color. What I'm doing is just changing the value, right? That's all we're doing, just changing that value. Hey, what's up, Mr. Bobby, all the way from Cape Cod? Great to see you. How's it going? See, now I got it. So you got to say maybe 3 or 4 times and I'll really get the name and where you're from. Oh, that's so great. I got uh, this incredible sort of like a file that has all of these drawers, and I'm putting the all the different colors in different drawers, and it's so great to have organization. Remember, I was working out of boxes, and now it just feels like 50 pounds has been lifted from my shoulders. It's so great. And AirTod says he's on the iPad and it's $1.99, and if he's on the computer, it's $2. Wow, that's so interesting. So glad you're here, Bobby. Always a pleasure. So right here, it's a little darker, and I'm just going to extend this a little bit right there. And this sepia works great with the shadow side of the white of the eyes. So, interesting story. When I'm working on her portrait, throughout the whole painting in steps 1 to 4, I was just having a hard time. It's just no matter what I did, it wasn't looking like her. But what I realized, and I always realize, is that we can't get hung up on it looking like her, and we just have to let the pieces fall. And I would say on Sunday, the piece fell, and all of a sudden it starts looking like her, and I was just so exciting. And oh, so Bobby says he can't wait to start the mentorship program as well. So that's fantastic. And JC says, Sergio glanced and said, how are you? Oh, say, Sergio, how's it going, my friend? So glad. How you doing? What grade is he in now? He's getting big, I'm sure. And, oh, and JC says, make it look so real. So true. How just a little thing as it falls into place can really make it real, It's so true. And so Bobby's saying, hey to Roy, Color Graphics, so cool. So I'm just moving around, and that's what I want you to do is when you get to the point and you did a lot of the detail, you got a lot done here, then it's just time to kind of balance out your composition. I was looking at Bouguereau today, and I was looking at it with a student and realized that Bouguereau basically always used a limited palette. And you could see that this is a limited palette. It's mostly earth tones and some yellows and beige, and that's basically it. So if you look at this painting, it's sort of the same thing, but keeping things very unsaturated, not overly saturated, I should say, and saturate only where you want the viewer to look. So you're the director, like in a play or a movie, and you could do that by directing the saturation, making it more saturated. JC says, yes, he is. Oh, so cool. So they grow up fast, right, JC? So so he says hi and cool drawing. Thanks, Sergio. I appreciate that. What a good kid he is. And a smart kid, that's for sure. So good to see you, Sergio. And oh, Dave says they guess they caught him on the Apple iPad. Oh, right. So that's where the 4.99 happened. 49.99. But wow, that's just so amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Dave. I appreciate you more than you know. And you see how the sepia is great because it's a nice neutral color, and I can darken things and and then come in and adjust the color. Like right here underneath her lip and just where the orbicularis oris is, I could just darken this just a tad in the center. Kind of brings out that pout she has, which I love. And I think this comes out a little further. There we go. And then a little bit darker on under part of her eyelid. And you don't want to you don't want to try and get it as dark as it needs to in one step, right? You just get there slowly. And that's the main thing, you know? So that's very important. And Mr. Cheese Grits and NyQuil Patrick says, it is beyond any praise I can give it. You won't be disappointed. Ah, thank you for that very, very warm and encouraging testimony of the mentorship program that Mr. Patrick is with me now for quite some time. And, you know, it really is amazing watching my students grow. And that's why I do it, because I see how over a period of time that you guys and girls who are studying with me get more and more confident with the airbrush, and you don't even realize it, right? So I know, like, when Patrick's working, he's doing these tight details, and I'm like, man, you just realize you did that, and you don't even realize it because it's a gradual process, and that's important, you know? And Mr. JC says that hair is looking awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. JC, it's a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of fun doing this. So I was over here. Let's see. Where am I going to use this? Maybe, well, I don't think I need it. I'm going to darken this side of the white of her eye. There we go. So you see, this side of the eye is in shadow, and this side of the white eye has more light to it. So that's basically, you know, looking at the ensemble, what's happening. Now, right now, it's not coming out, so we're going to see what is causing it. Oh, I just needed to give it a good spray, and now it's working perfectly. I'm just going to bring this this dark in the corner of her eye socket a little bit. Just bring that down. Same thing here. Just accentuate a little bit. Kind of give a little tiny bit more drama to her face. And let's see if we could work on her nostril. I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to work on her nostril. I'm going to lower that air pressure because we definitely don't want spidering. So we're going to hit and move, and we're going to see. Okay. And then on this side. There we go, just darkening the nostrils. Just a tiny bit, guys. And darkening in between to filter them a little bit. And you see how that kind of brings that pout out in her lips and hit the corners of the lips, which are a little bit darker. And notice I lowered that air pressure, so this way I'm not going to get any kind of spidering. It might happen, but as I lower that air pressure, it just lessens the severity if it does happen. And also hit and move, right? Don't stay in that spot, and if you don't feel like nothing's happening, don't stay there, because it might be happening, and then you're going to get that wicked tip dry, so a wicked spidering. Oh, let's see what I missed here. So Bobby says, Tim, I have a question. I'm not completely colorblind, but color efficient, and I don't have any art background. I have a hard time with certain shades of colors. Should I stick with black and white? Ryan, how's it going? Great to see you, man. So glad you're here. So basically, Mr. Bobby, I actually came up with a new revolutionary way of actually finding color. So I'd be more than happy to share that with you. But we always want to start with black and white, because black and white is the truth of art, right? So if you start with black and white, you'll be looking at edges and proportion and anatomy and value, all those different elements, and we'll get that down, and then we'll go ahead and add color onto that, and you're going to be really, really great. So I always start you out with black and white, because that's the academic approach, right? And then we come into color. I think if we go straight into color, it will be hard for you to see those edges and everything while juggling color. So we can go into color rather quickly, but we want to stay in black and white for at least the first two projects, and that's going to be great. And Ryan's all the way from the Detroit area. Great to see you, Ryan. Michael says, by watching your teaching, Tim, I feel more confident of doing portraits than I used to. That is great, Michael. I appreciate that. Thank you for the encouragement. And so, yeah, so, I'm so glad. And that's why I do these, free live streams since 2016. And because it's a place where, regardless of anything's happened in your life, you can come here and hopefully get inspired and inspire me and others, and just talk about art. Now, I always find that if you're watching these, you're going to get better, because I talk about the same things over and over again. Ryan says the painting's looking great. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. And so, by watching these, I go over the same things, such as, the 1 second rule, using the freehand shields and saying perpendicular, not parallel, and all these different things about value and compressed values, and all these different things that will, over and over again, will sink in. And remember, we overestimate what we can do in a week, and we underestimate what we can do in a year. So if you guys are watching this for 1 year every week with me, A, I get to know you, and that's amazing. But B, these concepts will work their way in. And these are academic concepts. These aren't concepts that are just to my style. These are concepts that you'll take no matter what medium you're using, no matter what style, and that's what's exciting, And Mr. Gregory gives a thumbs up, and Mr. Patrick says, to Bobby, the images you will produce in black and white will be more than enough to make you happy in black and white. No need for color. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Patrick. Ryan says, value will always be more important than color. Definitely, Ryan. Thanks for that comment. And Bobby says, I love black and white anyway, so that's good to know. And we'll get to color, right, Bobby? We'll get to it, but it will be at the right moment that we'll get there. And, what's important to the student as well. So if it's really important to go into color quicker, we'll kind of speed things up for you to get into color. But we'll start off very simple, not get things too complicated. And Patrick says, especially under Tim's 10th tutoring, Your portrait work will be outstanding and self-satisfying without the stress of colors. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. And Patrick's living proof. He's been doing some amazing portraits with me. And so that is so exciting to see your guys' growth. Um, and my style of teaching is very similar to actually exactly what I experienced when I studied at the National Academy School of Fine Arts in New York City under great teachers like Ron Scher and Harvey Dinnerstein and Max Ginsberg. And so, you know, it's a very technical approach, very academic approach, but it's sort of starting with the fundamentals and building on your, you know, your powers of observation. And also working in black and white, we're going to be concentrating on controlling this airbrush, knowing what the airbrush does, become an airbrush whisperer, so to speak. You know, you can hear something in the airbrush and you know that it could be a clog or something like that. Or if the paint's too thick, you're going to know that. And how we start off with the Airbrush India inks, which is the perfect technique. See, the Airbrush India inks are really great because they're super thin and you don't get any tip dry with it. And this way we could just concentrate on you getting control of the airbrush rather than having to worry about reducers and everything like that. This is a great way to start. And then slowly we start moving on to very cool stuff like Createx illustration, then Wicked. So you'll get there, you know. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan says they're phenomenal. And Mr. Michael says, Tim, if it wasn't for you and the others to encourage him to do Suzanne Summers' painting, American Graffiti, which came out amazing, Michael. I love the way you did that painting. I was not thinking about that kind of a portrait. Oh, man. Yeah, my inks are, thank you, Patrick. Patrick says the inks are user-friendly and they're perfect for starting out because, you know, you're not dealing with a lot of the technical issues that when you deal with, you know, when you have to deal with when you're working with any kind of acrylics. Because acrylics, you have a lot more things to juggle. With the inks, it's just, you know, worry about control of the airbrush. That's all you're going to have to worry about, which is great in the beginning. And then we get you where you have to go, and that's great. See how I can get into the detail of the corner of where the finger is? And we're going to work on that finger on that edge, no worries. Notice I'm not going to be erasing. I'm going to show you with my white and orange mixture how I'll work on that. And that's something that I do more, and I'll be teaching you guys when you work in color of how less erasing, less scratching, more learning about what these acrylics do with the airbrush and creating, you know, airbrush pictures that look like paintings in the direction of, let's say, William Bouguereau or something like that. And Bobby says, that's good info, Patrick, thanks. He's excited and has always loved art, just never good at it. Well, we're going to get you good at it, so don't worry about it. And we're always tougher on ourselves than anybody, so I know you're a lot better than you think you are, Bobby. Dante Gabriel Rossetti, the great 19th century pre-Raphaelite painter, he said that in other works, in other people's works, we see the genius. In our own work, we see the errors. And that is so true. So we're going to continue over here. And let's come over here and let's darken this area right here. It's going to be a little tough, but we can do it. Remember, we're just going to hit and move. I'm about 4 inches away. And see how I'm darkening that edge there? And we are getting a little bit of spider. I'm going to lower my air pressure a little bit. And we'll pull this down. Now, it's funny because this sepia really feels like my Airbrush India inks. Let's bring this back and just kind of hit a little shadow here. See how we're separating that window from the outside a little bit, which is cool. And and dang, that's a good word right there, Mr. Bobby says. That's cool. And so that's great. And right now I am using Wicked. This is Wicked Wicked Detail Sepia. And it's 3:1 with the 4011. And just a little bit of the UVLS Gloss 4050 to increase adhesion. And we're going to start doing some color in a bit. Maybe we could bring in some color into, but I'm going to set up color. So I'm going to do my little thing that I always do. I have it kind of, you know, to the side. I already have it mixed, but I'm going to mix it right up for you from scratch. So we're going to get the painting out of the way. Mr. Air Todd with the $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. That is so amazing. Thank you always for hanging out with me on a Wednesday, and really appreciate you and all your support over the years. You are a great asset to the airbrush world. I love your work. And, you know, you hanging out and your incredible comments really help make this community what it is. And I just want to say, Mr. Todd, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support and helping me through this crazy full-time airbrush artist life. You know, you really, you guys really helped it to happen. Without you guys, I just don't know. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Mr. Air Todd, all the way from San Diego. I appreciate you. So we are using my orange and white mixture. White and orange, I should say. Mr. Brad Mummery with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a great student. Thank you. Mr. Brad is with me 4 years as a student in the mentorship program. So that is great. So think of how much he has grown. He has grown just amazing. He comes to all the live streams and just is so supportive. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for the super chat, my friend. And Mr. Cheese Grits and NyQuil Patrick says to Bobby, you will find under Tim's guidance that your ability will far surpass your wildest dreams. You will learn that portraits are not as hard as we believe them to be. Yes, and also I appreciate that, Patrick, and also unlocking your guys' and girls' potential. And that's what I think a teacher really, that should be the teacher's goal, right? Unlock your potential. And if I can do that, then that would be amazing, you know? So that's my goal, is to make you guys and girls do things that is just like blowing your mind. And if I can do that, then I'm in good shape. So watch how fast I can get the white and orange with the new setup. Look at this. I'm getting the white. Bam. Look at that. Let me see if I... Oh, that's one I already used. I haven't used yet. So there we go. Wicked white. And now I'm going to get the orange. I want to get the orange I already used. Let's see. And I think this is the one. Nope, that's... The only problem I have is to find the orange that I haven't used. Let's see. Let's see. So, is this the orange I used? Let's see. So, it looks like I'm going to have the orange that so the only thing is I can't find the orange. Oh. Nope, not yet. So we're just going to have to open up this orange here. And then we have the Wicked Opaque White, which is great. Ah, Mr. Cheese Grits and NyQuil, thank you for the super chat, my friend. So amazing. I really appreciate you, Patrick. I appreciate all your support and your encouragement and just inspiring always. We always have such a great time when we have class together. And I'm so glad you make it to the live streams and part of this community. It wouldn't be the same without you. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for the $9.99 super chat. It's such a big help, guys. It really is. I mean, you guys just don't know. You guys and girls just don't know how much you guys support me. Really goes a long way. So thank you so much. And so, Patrick, you are amazing. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Patty says, I need to sign off. I'll catch up later. Congratulations on 500 episodes. Take care, Patty. Great to see you. Everyone's saying nice for the wonderful super chat to Patrick. Thank you, guys. And JC says, great, Patrick. Thanks for asking. So you guys are talking to each other. That's great. Mr. Rick Lotta, how's it going? Great to see you. Mr. Rick, thank you for the compliment. Beautiful work and welcome from Vancouver, British Columbia. Did I get that right, Rick? I hope so. I know you're a wonderful Canadian friend. We love our friends from Canada, which is great. So everyone's saying hello to Rick. Rick's a great person. Always love talking to Rick. And I have to find, the only thing is that when I'm much better at finding it, but then I have to find one that I haven't opened. So now we have white. Now watch what I'm going to do. Get these cups. They're in the description field. You can get them in the description. And they're 1 ounce cups. And what I like to do is just kind of do like 1/8 of an inch on the bottom. And then we're going to put this away. Look at that. I'm putting stuff away where it belongs. What a concept. Dwayne Marshall, how's it going? San Luis de Obispo, go Mustangs, not banana slugs. How's it going? And Rick Lotta says, Victoria, Canada. Thank you, sir. Am I close? Am I in the right ballpark? I hope so. But thank you so much for hanging out, Rick. I really appreciate you. Viva Canada. And Mr. Patrick says, he's saying that he is actually in a culinary competition. That's some exciting stuff. So we are going to, this is one I opened. So 3 cheers for me for getting the right bottle of Wicked. So this is Wicked Detail Orange 0054. So remember, we went ahead and put just 1/8 of an inch in here, and we're going to go 2 drops. 1, 2, that's it, just 2 drops. I'm going to put this back. What a concept. Now I'm going to get 4011 and I'm going to do this 4-to-1. Why 4-to-1 and why 3-to-1 with the sepia? Sepia starts out very thin, small pigment particles. So that's why I do 3-to-1 with sepia. However, white has large pigment size, and so you have to kind of dilute that 4-to-1 to make it flow through the airbrush the way you want to. So that's pretty cool. And so Dwayne, how's it going, sir? Always a pleasure. Let's see, 4-to-1, 4011. So when we're doing 4-to-1, we definitely need to add some UV-LS Clear 4050. Thank you, everyone. We have 18 concurrent viewers right now, so I hope we can make it to 20. That would be amazing. So just great. Just a great live stream. So this is going to be our next to last before we finish this project. The next one's going to be really different, everybody. It's going to be different. It's going to be something that I think we'll all enjoy. So that's going to be a surprise in 2 weeks. Hey, Camilo, all the way from Australia. How are you? ¿Cómo estás, amigo mío? I am so glad to see you. Camilo purchased the Extreme Patriot Arrow, and he immediately did an amazing skull. It was just so incredible. So I'm so glad you're here, Camilo. Bienvenidos. That is so fantastic. And Patrick says, wait, what's up in 2 weeks? In 2 weeks is going to be the next project, the next composition, and that's going to be pretty wild. So that's going to be part 1, which is going to be pretty cool, Patrick. And Mr. Brad says, don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So we're going to bring her over, and we're going to mix this really well. I would say you probably want to mix this for at least 45 seconds to a minute. Patrick says, can we set this up as a paint along? You know, that would be great, definitely. I'm going to do something a little bit more, you know, that everyone can do. Maybe, so I'm thinking of this, Patrick. What do you think of doing a live stream on a different day where we do a black and white, more of a simple portrait, and I'll actually send everyone the cut files and we could paint along. That would be fantastic. So that's something definitely, that's a really great idea. So I'm excited about that, Patrick. So that's going to be in the works for the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to take you up on that, sir. So I'm going to put this in the Extreme Patriot 105, customized by myself. The 105 just means a larger cup, not a smallest cup. Same great detail and everything. So let's see. Oh, that would be a fun project, definitely. So yes, I want this to be more of, you know, about everyone, you know. That's what I'm really looking for with this live stream here. We really are growing. 500 episodes. Wow. So now we have this orange mixture. Why a little bit of orange? Because when we put white down, we're going to have blue. And how we get rid of that blue is to add a little bit of orange, and that will counteract that blue, and it'll bring us back to white. 19 concurrent viewers so far. I know we're going to hit 20. When we hit 20, that's going to be exciting. That's going to be a new level of participation. Ryan says, okay, I'm out, Tim. Have a good night, brother. And I'm sure we'll talk tomorrow. Take care, my friend. Always a pleasure. And keep doing the great stuff, the great work you're doing over there. And hopefully we don't get any snow, Ryan, huh? So always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. So that is great. And so now, here we are. So remember we said we were going to work on her thumb. I want to show you what this white mixture does. So now what we're going to do, we're going to make sure we lower our pressure. And we're just going to use this white mixture. Watch what it does. See how it takes that gray and turns it white? And then you say, okay, Tim, now we have a white finger. But now we can glaze a flesh color over it, and this is a great way to fix issues, right? It's a great way to fix errors. Rather than erasing, let's paint. Let's learn what this paint does and actually make it do what we want to do. And that's kind of my approach, right? I want to master this paint. I'm not saying I did yet, but I'm on my way. Right here on the top of the mental fat compartment is a little bit of highlight because it's facing the light, and we're going to do that. Mr. Dwayne Marshall with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure. And this is the Wicked Master over here. He has so much knowledge of Wicked. I'm learning so much from you, Dwayne. Thank you for hanging out with us. And so, Dwayne, we are basically, I was talking about having an artist participation every week, and I would love to feature you 1 week of your great work during that. I think it's going to start next week where during the intermission, we're going to feature the work of one of the artists of our community. So that's going to be great. And Dwayne, thank you so much for your support in the super chat. So generous. It means a lot. And just thank you from the bottom of my heart, sir. I really appreciate you, Dwayne, your knowledge and your friendship. and being part of the community. You are amazing. San Luis de Obispo. So I'll never forget where you're from, sir. I did at first, right? Let's see. So now we have this white mixture. And always double check. White will, remember, white is going to give you some wicked tip dry. So let's go ahead and just hit this very lightly. See how I just hit that ever so lightly and ever so soft? So you can see we're just getting the highlight on the top of the mental protuberance right there. So that's how this white mixture really does it. You know, you can definitely erase, but how much better we're not erasing. We're really, go Mustangs! Not banana slugs. You know what's interesting? In Pulp Fiction, when John Travolta changed after he got rid of his bloody clothes, he had on the Banana Slugs t-shirt. So that's a bit of trivia. Very cool. And so thanks again for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you so much. So now we're going to go over this white mixture, what it does. Right over here, there's a little bit of light right above the glabella, right? And the glabella is that little indentation in between the two eyebrows and top of, just above the center of the eyes, and then the bridge of the nose comes out. But right here, we have a little bit of a highlight. So remember, the white and orange mixture is your friend. It's going to do great things for you. And Michael says it's a 5.0 Mustang. It does go. Oh, yeah, the 5.0s. Those were amazing, weren't they? Unbelievable. I remember that when I lived down in Florida, the 5.0s. The convertibles, they were great. That was back in the 90s. That was some car, wasn't it? Now, with a Mustang still 5.0? Hey, Astral, how's it going? I know you from Steve Leahy's live streams. How's it going? Great to see you. All the way from the UK. I'm so glad you're here. So, where in the UK are you, Astral? So, I'm so honored that you're here from Steve Leahy's live stream. You have great comments over there. So, thank you for coming by. That's so great. We have a great community here as well, and we just welcome you with open arms. Now, on the top of her hand, right here, the light is hitting it quite dramatically. So we're going to come in and just hit this right there like that, right? We're going to hit that light so you know the light's coming. And Mr. Gregory says, good night all. Thanks, Tim. Mr. Gregory, thank you for your kindness and your generosity and your great comments, sir. I just want to say I hope you have a wonderful week and a great weekend coming up. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope to see you next week. And take care, my friend. Mr. Dave Gregory, everybody. Great guy. And so let's see. Oh, JC has to go. JC says, catch up later, everyone. It's great to see you there, Mr. JC, all the way from the Georgia area. So glad you made it. I hope you have a great night. Have a great night to your family and Mr. Sergio and Mrs. JC. So thank you so much, sir. And so very cool. So thank you guys for hanging out with me on this cold, chilly Wednesday night. And I appreciate you, JC. Always a pleasure, sir. So now we have this white mixture. We're going to, well, first I'm going to do is focus this. Okay, there we go. And let's hit the lights as it's hitting the top of the fingers. Because remember, in the subway, the lights are right above her. So we're going to make sure that we get the lights hitting the top of her fingers there like that. And right here, we have the light here. So you see how we're working on that finger. We're going to come back in with some flesh color nice glazes. So that's cool. So fantastic. And so remember, this mixture is 1/8 of an inch in this 1 ounce cup. And then we do 2 drops of the detail orange, and then 4-to-1 with 4011 and a little bit of 4050. And this stuff just sprays like a dream. So feel free to use any of my little formulas, and then tweak it. But it's a good point of departure, I would say. I'm getting there. Michael says, Astral, by watching Tim, you'll learn about portrait painting. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Mr. Michael. Thank you. You guys are amazing. So I'll zoom out and you'll see what we did. So you see how we put more light in her hand there. And right here, I think in the background with this mixture, so we're not getting blue shift because that orange is kind of taking care of it. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cover her up because I want to be able to go right next to her arm without actually painting around it. And this is where these little custom shields come in. So let's come over here and see if I can get the silhouette of her. Wow, Mr. Ryan, thank you so much, my friend, for this super chat. How's it going all the way from Canada? I'm so glad you're here. How's life treating you, sir? And I just want to say thank you for your participation, your great comments, and thank you so much for your wonderful generosity. And, oh, Ryan, I know you're working hard. You can't stay long, but I'm so glad you're here. And thank you for your support. It really helps out a lot. And, I just can't say it enough. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you a great deal. You are the best, Ryan. And Mr. Astral says he's been watching my progression through this piece. Tim, it's a lovely job. Thank you, my friend. It's every painting has its touch and go moments, right? These moments that define us. Do we stick with it or do we bail out? I had a couple of them during these paintings, Astral, but I feel good that I stuck it out, What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right here, and this is only part of it, so I'm going to get the whole silhouette. Let me see if I have the whole silhouette. We remember this painting. See, I went ahead and cleared it, so that's cool. Let's see. I'm looking for the whole silhouette here. Here we go. I got the whole silhouette, and that's probably what we're going to need. So it's just so great that I get to work with you guys and everything and get to know yous. I mean, that's fantastic. And if I could inspire you just a little bit, then I'm so glad I do these live streams. 500 episodes. I don't know if Dwayne heard, but Dwayne, Astral, and Ryan, this is the 501 episode. So 500 episodes of my YouTube channel since 2008. So we've been doing this for quite some time. Live streams pretty much from 2016 was my first live stream. So that's still quite a while. But I love it. I love talking and hanging out with everyone. So I can imagine another 500 if God wills it. Then we're gonna celebrate 1,000 one day. So a lot of times when you're painting, you're gonna make adjustments, and what used to be like a perfect covering of the silhouette is no longer a perfect covering. So what you're going to do is you're just going to worry about one side at a time. I'm going to worry about this side here. Don't worry about the other side. And then you worry about the other side when you paint there. So that would work out. And it's all about getting that look like she's in front of that floor, right? That's important. Ah, thanks. Congrats. That's some staying power. I appreciate that, Astral, so much. Michael says, I think that's one thing. It's important having a folder for its portraits that you do. Yeah, I have a folder for every painting that I'm working on. So this way I have all the stencils that I made and everything like that. So that's really good. I'm going to take my white mixture and I am going to be able to spray right next to her. So when I pull this up, it doesn't look like I'm spraying around her contour because that wouldn't look good. It would be like a giveaway, right? This way, I'm really going to get that appearance that she is right in front of the floor. And let's see how this looks. Let's take a look. So we want it to be like she's just right in front of that floor. And that's exactly, see how we have that beautiful edge work? And that's what we are after. So that's cool. And Dwayne says he has so many of them manila folders full of past stencil works it takes forever to find. And that's what I'm working on. It's so true. I'm working on a file cabinet that I'm going to pretty much separate it into different genres, you know, or different dates. So I'm right there with you. Mine is getting really huge. So it was very manageable. Now it's no longer manageable. So I'm really happy with this. Let's bring this down. See that? And that white and orange mixture is just great. I highly recommend it. Let's go ahead and put some more. See how, you know, with the orange in there, I'm getting pure white. And that's what I want, pure white, you know. And Michael says, I just like hanging out here on a Wednesday evening. I'm so glad because, you know, the live streams aren't the same without you. So I'm so glad you're here, Mike. It's just a lot of fun hanging out with just great people. And, you know, I know there's so many cool things on Netflix and all that. So I'm just honored that you guys hang out with me. And Dwayne says he's lacking on his label system. He's got many that he has almost the same label. I hear that, sir. Michael says, I haven't gotten that far yet, Dwayne, but you're getting, yeah, you're really working a lot lately, and this consistency as you're doing, that's going to get you far, Michael, that's for sure. And you already come far. And Astral says he loves your airbrush, by the way. He started off with the Badger 100 side feed back in 1981. He uses the Renegade Jet nowadays, along with others, 13 others. Yes, can't have enough airbrushes, right, Astral? Yeah, you know, Badger has some really good airbrushes, and one of the things I like about Badgers is that the simplicity, and it gives you exactly what you need. Not more, not less. And the machining, everything is centered, and you know what you're going to get when you have it. Sort of like the A10 Warthog of the airbrush world. And Ryan says, I think after 1,000 episodes, you should get your own network special on Netflix. That would be amazing. Let's make that happen, Ryan, right? And Dwayne says, just takes time, Michael. I don't even keep a lot of... I had to draw some out, and that felt bad because I moved, and I lost some of the projects I've done with students in the past. So, yeah, you feel bad when you have to get rid of some of the files from your projects, right, Dwayne? I felt pretty bad. So, John Auguste Dominique Angle, 19th century French academic neoclassical painter, he said that if you paint consistently, you're going to start doing things that amaze you. And I think that's true, and I can see that in my students' work, that they're doing stuff that is just amazing them. Stay consistent, paint what you can, and you're just going to keep blowing your own mind, as I'm sure you are already. Going to do some specular highlights there. Now we do have a little bit of pencil lines, but with this technique you kind of limit the pencil lines. I'll show you some of the pencil lines I have in the background. We have some, but not too much, right? And kind of the technique with the airbrush and the ink really helps to negate a lot of them, which is good. Um, let's add a little bit of light here in the flesh, and then we'll glaze over that. But I'm just going to lighten the flesh a little bit. And so now when I come back in with the flesh, I can just do a, a nice transparent flesh color and kind of make that pop a little bit. Because they're back there, yes, but you want us to see that they're people. You don't want them to be too fuzzy. So we're going to come back in with some nice flesh colors, which is fantastic. And Dwayne says just takes time, and he also says he tries to scan a lot of them and he draws out, so at least he has a digital file. That's so smart. I'm going to do that in the future. Brad says the orange-white mixture is a game changer for acrylic airbrush painting. It does, because you can correct anything, right? There's nothing that you can't correct with this, which is really fantastic. Plus, you can set up some really nice lights, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that in certain areas. Let's go ahead and do that with the hair. So I'm just going to, it's going to look kind of crazy, right? Look what I'm doing. So you're like, okay, that looks kind of crazy, Tim. But I'm going to glaze that with some of that light yellow ochre kind of color, and that's going to show up as a highlight. Same thing here. I'm just going to put that in, and so we're playing chess, right? We're thinking 4 or 5 moves ahead of time with this orange. So today, right now, we've just been painting with the sepia and painting with the orange-white mixture and getting a lot done, setting up so we can come in with those colored glazes to really make things explode, right? So that's important. And Dwayne says, old school trick, Brad. Very cool. Yes, definitely. And Michael says, yeah, I've tried to watch it, but I collect calendars because they have some nice pictures. Oh, cool. Very cool. And yeah, reference material, you just be on the lookout. You never know when you will find those amazing reference material. Sometimes I even get it in, like, advertisements in the Sunday Circular or something like that. One of my most favorite paintings came from that. So always look out. And if you're doing a photo from a Sunday Circular, I don't think that photographer who did that advertisement is going to come after you. So there's a lot of things that you can do. It's a one-of-a-kind work of art. You're changing it. So I think you're going to be safe. Now here we have this beautiful light that's in the background. This specular light. Let's make this pop. See that? We're making that pop right there. And let's make this pop here. There's going to be a little bit of blue on the bottom. Got to be careful with the white that you don't blow out, right? Do you take your own reference photos? Yes, when I can get a girl to pose for me. It's not always easy. I always love to take my own photos, but it's hard finding models, When I used to have a full-time job in corporate, there were women basically everywhere. And so, out of that, I would find some people who became great models and said yes. A lot of people look at me like I'm crazy when I ask them to pose. But you just have to have thick skin and keep asking, And Dwayne says, I'm always on the lookout for inspiration. A lot of times I'm just use a small part of references. Yes, definitely. Just a small part, right? And so you're always on the lookout for reference. Whoop. So always be careful with white, because when you're spraying and stop, sometimes white can actually get right here. So when you have this mixture, always do your first spray away from your airbrush. Okay, away from your painting. So that's always a good rule of thumb. So let's go ahead and I only want to have exposed is the fur. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to set up that fur to get some real beautiful color. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look for the stencil that I made from my own drawing that only has the fur. This is cool. Like right now we're really advanced in this painting. So we're doing, some really, detailed stuff that you don't usually see in parts 1 to 4. I mean, but in part 5 we get to see, in part 6 we'll see a lot more just detail using the wet palette and paintbrushes and stuff like that. So once again, we want to make sure that we work on one side at a time, because as we work we make adjustments and it doesn't cover everything. So let's go ahead and do this. And the white pin dots. Oh, Dwayne says the white pin dot spits. Yes, exactly. So true. So we have to make sure that we anticipate it. Right, Dwayne? The best defense is not to be there in the first place. But sometimes I forget and I pay the price. But that's okay. Knowledge, experience is something that you can't buy. And that's why I was talking to a student today, and we were talking about the muses and inspiration. The muses only visit you when you're working. So try and work as much as possible so you can get the muses to give you inspiration of new ideas, crossing new ground in the airbrush world, doing things totally different. And I also love the, I think Goethe is a philosopher, and he said, do not discount your genius just because it comes from you. No matter what level you're at, you can definitely find a new way of doing it. You could actually be the next big thing in airbrushing. So I want you all, no matter what level you feel you're at, you could be doing something that could change the game and break the ice, and you could become world famous. That's the beauty about being an artist. You can't become a world famous accountant, but you can become a world famous artist, and it just takes some genius, some inspiration that comes to you that can just, blow the doors off. And Dwayne says, always pick your needle before spraying. Thank you, sir. A lot of knowledge from Dwayne, so definitely that is great information. See, that's what Dwayne brings to the table of our live streams. I'm so glad you're here, sir. So glad. And always remember where we're spraying, right? So you want to cover what you don't want to spray and uncover what you want to spray. So here we are with the white mixture. I'm going to listen to Mr. Dwayne. I'm going to pick that needle, spray off to the side. And now I want to lighten with this mixture. I want to lighten the areas that I'm going to glaze with burnt sienna. See that? I'm just lightening it up. Now what's happening is that the fact is that we're going over something that's already has orange in it. So it already has orange in it. We don't have any kind of blue shift, right? So what's happening is that we're getting a little bit of an orange. So how do we fix that? We add more white to our mixture. Normally I never ever add white. I mean, mix into the cup. But I'm going to make an exception because it's a live stream. So I'm going to add some white, and I'm going to add some 4011 too. We don't want it too thick. I'm doing that far away from my painting. And, oh, there goes my airbrush cap. I'm going to really stir this really well because we have to get rid of the blue shift. I'm going to dump this, and when we're using the white mixture, or put a couple of drops of orange in here again. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with little old me here on a Wednesday. I just appreciate yous. I just want you to know that. I mean, I don't know what my weeks would be like without yous. I just don't. Okay, so now, and I'm just going to spray a little bit of this out in this makeshift little thing I have here. Spray that in there. Now, when I do it here, we should see white. Yeah, see the difference? Because the fact of the matter is it's already orange and it's already fighting the blue shift, so the orange that's in the white mixture is just going to create more orange. So you're always going to have to adjust. Oh, let's see. Ryan says, I'm afraid that's all for me tonight. Thanks, Tim. Thank you so much, Mr. Ryan, for the super chat. Always a pleasure. I'm always so thankful that you join our community, and I hope you have a great weekend coming up. Don't work too hard, all right, my friend? And so that's cool. So that's so great. Thanks, Ryan. So thanks for stopping by, my friend. So notice that we are getting pure white now. I'm going to raise that air pressure a little bit at the pack valve, or just raise the airflow. There we go. And you have to adjust because we did thicken up the paint a little bit. It's all about adjustments, right, everybody? It looks terrible, but we're setting up. We're playing chess. And I'm pumping that trigger to get a little bit of texture. There we go. And then here, we're going to set up. And it's nice and thick, so I'm going to make sure. There we go. I'm going to increase my distance because I don't want to have any blowouts. I want it to be nice and smooth. So I'm about 4 inches away. There we go. Setting up right here on the edge. Little bit on the edge here. There we go. So that's basically where I'm going to pretty much keep this. And let's keep that on there, but let's just very quickly just see what I'll do. If you want to see how it looks, all you have to do is just kind of do a hinge method. Just bring the magnets up top so you don't lose the placement. Whoa. And there we go. So you can see how I lightened that up. And now we're going to come in with a nice maybe raw sienna, you know, a detail raw sienna that's very transparent. And we're going to bring some life to this color. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So let's make that happen. Okay. And let's see. Astral says, I usually chat with my son in Japan. He's at work now, but it's 3:57 here at the moment. Wow, so your son's in Japan. That's very cool. Do you go see him? Oh, man, it'd probably be amazing. The amazing stories your son could tell, right? That's so great. So, yeah, so does your son work there? Is that what he does? So let's put this back, guys. And now we're going to come in and we're going to turn the light by using the white and just a little bit of orange because it already was orange. So the orange and white mixture is a funny thing. The orange and white mixture is something that you have to adjust, right? It's not a one size fits all. Different colors, it's going to do different things. So that's where the experience comes in. Paint all the time. That's what Angra said. Draw all the time. Even when you're not drawing, draw with your eyes when you don't have a pencil in your hand. And he teaches English and computer programming. I was watching on YouTube that it's really cool teaching English in Japan, but their work ethics are a little bit more stringent than it is in the US and the UK. Is that true? Like he has like longer hours or less sick days and days off. Is that correct? That's what I was watching on YouTube. So that's pretty cool. So there are a lot of YouTube channels of young people teaching teaching English to Japanese students in Japan. Is he in Tokyo, by the way? See, it's just so many great stories, and it's just so fantastic getting to meet everyone. Okay, so we had our sepia. It's a great run, but let's dump our sepia back in here. Ah, I love this color. 3 cheers for detail sepia, everybody. 3-1 with a little bit of 4011, and you are going to have so much fun with it. I just want you to try it if you haven't. Detail sepia with the wicked line. Just incredible. Run out and get it, honestly. It's just going to change the way you paint. It's going to, you're going to be able to get detail and then glaze color on top of it, which is amazing. So when I started working in Wicked Paint, I never realized how much I would love it. And I really love the Wicked line. It's just so amazing. And Mr. Astral says he does also a bit of art. How cool. And he wants me to send some of his work from the UK, but it costs a lot of money. He lives in Kanazawa, but he lived in Kyoto. Oh man, that's some interesting stuff. That is really cool. You plan on going to see him, or have you gone to visit him yet? That'd probably be amazing. So I'm running some water through the airbrush, getting rid of any sepia that was in there. Now what I'm going to do is also, we're going to clean the cap, which is really important, because even if there's some in the cap, it's going to contaminate your color, and that's not going to be good. So during the weekend, I'm going to be working on this. Stay tuned during the weekend. I'm going to do a live stream of the oil painting for airbrush artists. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun over the weekend. I'm not sure, but I'll send an email out to you guys. All right, now we're going to make sure we're going to put this aside, and we're going to put our orange and white mixture aside. Now we're going to look for a really nice earth tone, and so I'm pulling out. Look how amazing it is. So look how I have all my wicked colors in earth tones and reds. It's so fantastic, and these go in the drawer. So now I'm totally set up. This is crazy. This is unlike Tim. It's usually pandemonium during the live stream trying to find the color. So I like this color right here. It's either between Detail Burnt Sienna or Red Iron Oxide. So let's take a look. I would say let's go with Burnt Sienna. That's a classic color. And since we're talking about Angra and Rossetti, let's use a classic color today. Oh, so Astro might go see his son next year. Got too much going on the moment. I can understand that. Is this the setup from Bill? No, this is actually a little bit different. A friend got me this wonderful organizer that I put together today, and it's just incredible. I'm actually going to do a product review of this, and I think you all are going to love it, and so that's going to be amazing. Because this is kind of life-changing right now for me. I'm getting all verklempt. It really is. It's very life-saving, life-changing. So we're going to take our Detail Burnt Sienna 0074. Now, it's a nice orange mixture, but it is dark, but we're relying on doing it very light as a glaze. So that's a little bit different. So let's go ahead and, well, let's shake it up really well. Give it a good shake. Take a sip of my hot beverage. DreadFX, how's it going, my friend? Great to see you. How's everything? I know you're from the UK, so how's life out there? I'm really loving the artwork you're doing, man. It is so great. He's doing, and I know everyone knows of his work because his YouTube channel is just off the charts. Uh, of the female heads, you know, with the makeup, just incredible. And one of the things I really love about Mr. DreadFX is how he's a master of clear coat, isn't he? He did something where he clear coated paper and it was just out of this world. And thank you. I want to say thank you for sharing that, my friend. I just, you know, big fan of your stuff over there. And as everyone else is. So thanks for hanging out, coming here. It's just really cool and an honor to see you at the live stream, sir. Are you going to do more more, Rob? Are you going to do more on clear coats? And so I just love what you do with the clear coats. And Rob, I started working with candies, and I'm really loving it. So I saw when you were working on candies, you really inspired me. So thank you for that. Okay, so now we have this color, and it's interesting because it is a very light glaze. It's 4-to-1. Oh, can do, Tim. Very cool. So that's fantastic. Yes, that's a really great YouTube. And what I love about Rob's YouTube channel is he's so consistent. And from another YouTuber, his consistency really inspires me to do more as well. So thank you for that. Thank you for, you know, inspiring me to push myself too with the YouTube channel and to help, you know, as many people as we can. All right, so now let's go ahead. So we have detail burnt sienna in the airbrush. I'm just going to be so darn, I'm just going to be so ridiculously organized. I'm going to put it back where it belongs. Look at this. Who do I think I am, right? So I'm going to put this right back to where it was. And now we're going to raise the air pressure because before we had the thick orange-white mixture, and now we have this very thin burnt sienna. So we're going to raise that air pressure or raise the paint flow at the nozzle with the pack valve. Okay, so here goes. Now watch as I just very lightly kind of do a glaze over it. Now remember, glazes are only work when you have a lighter color. Just like, think of like stained glass. Stained glass only looks great on a sunny day. On a night sky or anything like that, it doesn't show up. But on a sunny day, when that light is kind of going through the transparent, that's when things happen. So notice that when I put the white down and now putting the burnt sienna, now it's really looking really vibrant. So remember, it's what goes on underneath that's important, right? When it comes to transparency. And as Dredd will tell you, that's candies, right? Candies are the ultimate transparent. There we go. So when I lift this, you're going to see it's going to look pretty nice. And of course, we can go ahead and, you know, maybe lighten it up and go back again, put in some highlights. And then I'm going to put this burnt sienna, I'm going to kind of put some life into those sepia colors here. So really get this to look pretty good. And oh, Astral, so Dredd says to Astral, cannot sleep, got a big project on today and got his cup of tea and came straight on here. Oh, cool. So big airbrushing day for you, sir? Let's lift this up before we commit. So we're going to do that whole thing with just, you know, do the flip up, and this way we don't lose our spot with the freehand, with the custom shield here. It might just very well be too powerful, right? But you know what? We can always chill it, you know? So let's see. There we go. That looks really nice. I'm really loving how vibrant, and it feels like fur. It might not be, you know, the exact color, but, you know, I'm happy with it. And I can always tweak the color if I want. Maybe I'll like this kind of burnt sienna a little bit more than the actual color of the painting. But it's great because I didn't get any overspray onto the dark of the jacket. So a little bit of prevention just saves us a lot of work. Sorry for the clicking of the magnets. So we're setting up for next week. We're going to come in and hit some really beautiful details, glaze some color in the background, and we're going to call this done. And then in 2 weeks starts the next one in the Persephone series. So look at that. Not bad, right, guys? What do you think? How do you like the fur, how it came out? And we can go back and forth and everything. Oh, so the video will be up today. Very cool. Looking forward to it, sir. And I'm always alerted. So with Dread, make sure you, if you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you'll be alerted when new videos come out, which is great. And so cool. And okay, so that's pretty much how we did that. I still have this. Where can we put a little bit more saturation? I'm going to be about 4 inches away. Why? Because I don't want to get it blotchy. Further away, larger the spray pattern, the better blends you get. There we go. A little bit of saturated color right here. So when I airbrush, I learn how to oil paint better. And when I oil paint, I learn how to airbrush better. Color is color. Painters paint. That's all we should do. So whatever we're doing, we're painters. We should just paint. Now, how can we use this white mixture going back and forth into this? Think of it as wet clay, right? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be thinking about this as wet clay. Oh, Dred says, brilliant work, Tim, as always. I did do a shout out of you on yesterday's video. Oh, thank you, my friend. I got to check that out. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. So that's an honor, a big honor for me, sir. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to hit some right here. I'm going to use this white mixture, and I'm just going to add a little life and texture to this here. Just like that there. Just pumping that trigger, adding just a little bit of texture. Now I am getting a little bit of white dots, so I'm going to just blow this out here. There might be some dried stuff on the tip. There we go. Like I said, this is why, Bobby, when we start with my mentorship program, we start with black and white, because when we're trying to learn, you know, how to use the airbrush and edges and values, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, working in color will complicate it, and it's important to, you know, kind of do things, start with the more simple stuff and then deal with the other stuff that working in color kind of brings to the table. There's different challenges working in color. So remember, we had to change the pack valve again because now we're going back to the thicker paint. Michael says, night all, great feed tonight, Tim. Thank you. She looks awesome. Thank you, Mike. Always a pleasure, sir. I just want to say thank you for the super chat, the real generous super chat. And thank you for your participation and great comments. And I'm getting that shirt out to you. Michael bought an ink flinger shirt on the website. So I'm excited. We'll be working on that for you this weekend, all custom for you. So thank you, my friend. And so I'm very pleased. Astral said that he's never used auto paint, but that's the same, is it? Auto paint is more of, it's not oil, it's urethane. And oil paint has the binder of like linseed oil or safflower oil or even walnut oil. But it's all pigment. Pigment is pigment. It's just each medium has, you know, a different binder and a different way of applying it to the surface. Airbrush is different. Its binder is acrylic when you're working with Wicked. And with the detail, you're working with a combination of acrylic and urethane. So yeah, so it's all the same pigment though, which is interesting. Once I realized that it was all pigment is pigment, then I stopped getting intimidated by different mediums, because once you learn one medium, you pretty much know what pigment is doing, right? We're going to keep that nice and dull. Right here it's a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to we're going to have to thin this out a little bit with some 4011 in here. It's a little thick. And let's go ahead and give this a thinning out. Now, it may be that there's a clog in the nozzle. And you all know my thing. If there's a clog in the nozzle, I stop using the airbrush if it doesn't blow out by, you know, pulling the needle back full. If it doesn't blow out, then I don't fool with it. I just either stop painting and clean it out and clean out that nozzle and then start again. But like right now, I'm very close to stopping painting with this airbrush. But let's give it a shot here. So I thinned it out significantly with 4011, and now we're getting a good flow. Okay, it saved itself. Whoop. All of a sudden, my Alexa started playing Baby Shark. What in the world? Alexa, stop. Is that the weirdest thing, guys? I never listened to Daddy Shark, Mommy Shark, or whatever, but my Alexa just went off and said, and started playing Daddy Shark or something like that. How crazy is that? Baby Shark. That is so weird. Okay. So, my cat's in there. Maybe the... So now I have it. I have a good flow. So I'm going to lighten it up, and then I'm going to come back in just a little bit later with the burnt sienna. Right? So you see how this white mixture, how you can work on it as if it's wet paint, you know? And color is color, right, Dwayne? Exactly. And Astral says, my son uses oil in a traditional way, but I have no idea on how you would mix oils. Well, what's really cool is I am doing the whole thing of oil painting for airbrush artists. And check it out. It's going to be this weekend where I'm going to start coming in with oils. And in the video, the live stream, I'm going to actually go over it. So that would be cool for you to see. It's not hard. Airbrushing is more difficult than oil painting. So you're doing probably the hardest out of all the mediums to work with. So you see how I'm lightening it up and keep going back and forth? And it's like I'm working wet into wet, but I'm not. But the white and orange mixture is allowing me to work wet into give that kind of alla prima wet onto wet kind of feel that you get with oils. Just pumping that trigger. I want that texture. Right over here we'll hit that as well. Now we'll come in immediately with our burnt sienna, and kind of worried you even, so this is what Dwayne says, I'm kind of worried you even know what that music is. Ah, well, I remember I dated a girl in 2016 till around 2019, and she had a little grandson, and that's where Baby Shark came from. And Dwayne says, I sprayed oil paints through his airbrush before. Wow. That's like being the Toxic Avenger, right? That's unbelievable. That's like really being radical, right? That's great. So tell me about your experience, Dwayne, spraying oil paints. Did you worry about the toxicity? I'm just pumping that trigger, really getting that feeling of fur. What do you guys think? And now I'm glazing it, getting rid of the white and kind of making it the color of the fur. So now I'm getting more of that kind of texture. And so that's really wild. So we're in the last 8 minutes of the live stream. And as I'm finishing up here, thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate everyone. You all are amazing. This is a great, amazing, wonderful community, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. And Astral says that he only uses water-based paints in his airbrushes. He's scared to use oil. Yes. So remember, the airbrush is really simple. You just have a nozzle, and basically everything is going through here. Nothing is going through here. As long as your needle packing is good, you'll only have to clean this out. So with that, you would just use turpentine to clean that out, some sort of solvent. But that doesn't worry me. What worries me is the toxicity of having that spray in the airbrush. And a lot of people warn me, so I'm kind of heeding that warning. And Dwayne says years ago, family and friends would get him all kinds of paint stuff, more for the airbrush, so I would try him out. So cool. So notice that we're getting some really rich fur color, which I like. And then I can come back with the orange and white mixture and keep going back and forth until I get the texture I want. So that's the beauty of kind of going back and forth with this, you know. Oh, Dwayne says he has a respirator for when he does clear coats. So he just wore that. That's amazing. So guys, I think we're going to stop here because now we pretty much stopped with the white in this. But I just want to thank everyone for hanging out with me. You guys and girls are just so super amazing. I can't believe how much the new organization has made the live stream go so much smoothly. I'm going to do a video on that. Thank you, Ryan, for the super chat. Thank you, Dwayne, for the super chat. Mr. Patrick, thank you. Brad Mummery, thank you. Air Todd, thank you so much. Mr. Dave, thank you so much. Michael McGlung, thank you for your support. Thank you for hanging out with me, every one of you. I think you're just amazing. Mr. Rob over in the UK, thanks for coming by and hanging out. Dwayne, you're the best. Guys, thank you so much. You're all amazing. We'll see each other over the weekend, I'm sure. And check out Mr. Dread's video tomorrow. And take care and God bless. You guys are all amazing.